Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Rico back at it again. Folks, this is the Rico Report. This is the Buffalo Fanatics. Welcome. Smash that like as you guys enter the room. Y'all know what it is. If you have not subscribed, you're like, yo, I saw the title. I saw this is a Bills content creator. What's this guy about? Subscribe to the channel. It's that simple, folks. Let's go, folks. We know what it is, man. Let's cut to the chase. The Bills need to wake up, wipe the crust from their eyes, and get their act together. It's just that simple. It's really that simple. There's no way about it. This is not like there's some new offensive coordinator. There isn't like this is a brand new offense. This is not like, you know what I'm saying, like 90% of the offense didn't come back. You're not dealing with a whole bunch of new players. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. The one thing that stands out that some folks are afraid to say it, and I'm proud of myself. I'm not proud of myself, but I am. I've been trying to tell y'all, quit scapegoating Dorsey. I've been trying to tell y'all, man. Does he lack creativity? Heck yeah, he does. Does he have his faults? Yes, he does. But the point I'm trying to make is sometimes you got to look straight at 17. I'm not mincing words. Y'all already know what it is. We've got to be better. Simple as that. Because I'm going to tell you, if 17 doesn't get it together, the season, I know, and it sounds crazy. Oh my gosh, we're only week 8. How can you talk about the season being over? It could be over real quick. Like that. Drop another game or two. Yo, you're fighting now. You're now fighting. I don't care if there's 18 weeks of football. You're now fighting because guess what? The Jets are getting better. The Dolphins, you know, they're gonna put their schedule is it's not fantastic. It's not a hard schedule. They're gonna get their points in. So right now, you're looking at your division alone. You're fighting now to stay, you know, saying as a top dog. The Jets are 3-3. The Jets coming up this week can jump to 4-3. They're playing Tyrod Taylor and the New York Jets. And the last 2 games, luckily for the Giants, Tyrod has looked like the best quarterback in that building. He's looked like the best quarterback in that building. Take a look at this, folks. This is what the schedule is going to look like. We have to take care of Tampa Bay because if we don't, the Jets defense is that good. And they were missing some players last week. And last week they had a bye. The week before, they're missing some players. Huge win against the Eagles. And the Eagles just took down the Dolphins. So what do you think the Jets are going to do to the Giants? Exactly. I know it's any given Sunday, but there's a great chance that the Jets bring it to the Giants. Chalk that up as a win. The Dolphins, on the other hand, they're about to get their dub. They're playing the Patriots. Chances are they take that game. Where does it leave the Bills? Holding our nuts in our hands. We can't, man. We got to let them things drop instead of holding tucked in. Right now, we sitting with our nutsack tucked all the way in, man. Where is it? Drop them suckers, man. I'm sorry if there's some females in the room. I apologize if that's a little too much. But there comes a time, man. Like, listen, we gotta look the Bills. I'm sure they're looking at themselves right now in the mirror. They're looking at themselves right now in the mirror. And reality check. Y'all gotta wake up. It's just that simple. You gotta wake up. And furthermore, I gotta say this because it's so funny. You know, some things happen and in your day, and it's just it reminds you of something, and it makes you think of a scenario or a video or a music, excuse me, a song or a music video. Something just happened, right? And I'm thinking about this season, and I'm thinking about how the Bills have been playing this year, offense, defense, the whole nine, right? And hold on, folks, I got to make sure that everybody's got their links. Oh, my man didn't have his link yet. I'm trying to get my man. I'm trying to get my guy, the Thigh Doc, onto here, and the link didn't send. So pardon me while I try to send this link to my guy because I got to get him on the show. But anyways, as I do this, folks, as I do this, I'm sitting there talking to my wife, and my son. We're trying to get him to say his words and so on and so forth. And when he's stuck, we're trying to say like help. You know what I'm saying? So and he'll say help, help. You know what I'm saying? He's saying help, help. And as he's saying that, man, I'm like, I'm always in my mind talking about like me thinking of Bills and all that stuff. And I think of the Bills way too damn much sometimes, right? I think we're all in that same position. But anyway, nonetheless, he says help. And she's telling me a story that he got stuck and he needed help. And I was like, man, you know who needs help? The defense. The Bills defense has been needing help from this offense the last 3 weeks. If you think about it, you go up against the Jaguars game, they hold it down, they try to keep the game intact and in close enough, and they do. They turn the ball over, they give the ball back to the offense, and the offense just wasn't doing anything, right? You go to the Giants game, they hold the Giants to damn near 9 points this whole time. 9 points. The defense, although depleted and injured and beat up, they're doing their job. They're doing their job as best they can with the all-pro corner gone, all-pro linebacker gone. The DQ was playing out of his mind this year. He's gone. Ed Oliver wasn't here last week. Like we're depleted on defense, right? We're playing with a 7th-round draft pick at corner. We're playing with another 6th-round draft pick at corner. We got safeties that are, a little bit long in the tooth, and we're still doing good things on defense. And I bring this up because the defense has got to be saying, help me. And then it got me thinking. I remember Kevin Hart one day was doing a stand-up, and he was talking about his boy leaving him out to dry. And he's saying, help me. And I was like, you know what? This is apropos. The Bills defense right now is Kevin Hart explaining that he needs help from the offense.
I'm looking at you, and I'm not blinking if I'm like this. That's a goddamn sign. That means the bitch got to drop on us. My back is against the wall. This is not a test. It's the real deal. Help me. Help me. Nigga. Help me.
Defense right now. Nigga. Help me. I'm trying to do everything I can. I'm peanut punching footballs. I'm giving y'all the football back. We tired, bro. We need points. We need the Bills that put up 30, 35 points for. We need that. We need the first, 4 weeks of the Bills to come alive. Because we are going to get tired at one point, and we're going to rely on this offense. And this offense has not done what they're supposed to do. We're too high-powered for us to be sitting here bullshitting. If you guys agree, smash that like. Throw a little thumbs up in the chat. Because these brothers are saying, help me. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Poyer is saying, Ed Oliver is like, fam. Josh is sitting there on the sideline. Even Stephon Diggs tried to tell him, help me in the Bengals game. Remember? We all saw it. He was probably saying, help me. Stephon Diggs, wide ass open. He ain't known for being a 4-3 guy. He's not. But he gets himself wide open, and we missing these easy ass shots. Fam, help me. Anyway, I didn't want to get into such a rant this early, but this might be the kind of show we're going to get into. Now, we need to talk about some injuries because, like I said, we are beat up in the injury department. We're beat up in that department. And there's only one guy I trust that can feed me the information that I need. So all he has to do is give me a thumbs up and tell me he's ready to go. All right. You guys already know what it is, man. On a weekly basis, the Thigh Doc always comes through and handles business and answers questions that we may have. So if you guys have your questions, hashtag it right now, Thigh Doctor, and then ask your question. Ladies and gentlemen, my guy, Mr. Lucci himself, the Thigh Doc. What's good? Talk to me. We got things to talk about, baby. We got things to talk about. First of all, how was the week that was? How did you enjoy the game, or how did you not enjoy the game? Talk to me about that before we get into the injury talk.
The game was tough. So a day game like that on the weekend, I'm watching it with my son. He's 7. He gets, he likes the Bills, but I feel like, we live downstate here. He's not like swallowed up with Bills fans, so he doesn't like get it. So, it's just like, oh yeah, it's dad's thing. So he always gets like a little annoyed that I'm yelling at the TV. So trying to be better with that.
And he doesn't understand why is dad so angry.
No, I don't get angry, but it's like, late in the game, how we got that fumble.
Yeah. Oh,
I get the yips. I'm like, oh, and then he's like, oh, he gets startled, and he's like, you said you weren't going to yell this game. I was like, yeah, that wasn't a yell. That was a cheer.
I think it's. I can't wait till. I mean, my girls watch with me, and they're in and out of the game. My wife watches with me. I just can't wait till my son. I finally have my boy, so we'll be getting there. We're not there yet, but yeah. I get it. I can totally see him go, whoa, what's going on? But I get it. Yeah. I get it. Listen, you need to make fans feel good. And let's start with Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox is out. He's got to have surgery on the wrist. What's the details? Give us the details. What do we need to know? How long is he going to be out? And how does this affect us going forward?
It's a great question, Rico. Rarely does a guy have such a injury that he can play a couple weeks and then decides, you know what, we just got to get this fixed. I don't really know what's wrong with his wrist. Sometimes they do miss this injury called a scaphoid. It's a small bone near the thumb. He was seen with a splint that did cover his thumb a little bit. It's possible. He might have a ligament, right? Gamekeeper thumb. Sometimes your thumb gets pulled back. If it's soft tissue or like a scaphoid, I mean, that's at least 6 weeks though, which is not good. However, I was thinking maybe he's got like a loose body in the wrist. Do you understand? Like a little cartilage kind of like clipped off and it's getting stuck in the joint. So he like tried to play through it, realized it wasn't. And then they're just like, you know what? Kincaid's back, clean it up. That can take 2 weeks. So I think it's really going to depend if he goes on the IR. If it's on the IR, we're looking at something that's at least 6 weeks. If he stays off the IR, look for him to come back in about 2 weeks.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. This has been a long time coming, and it feels like a long time coming because we just haven't had, and nothing to take away from Dawson Knox, because I think in what they've asked him to do and what he's capable of doing, he's done what he's able to do, right? And maybe there's limitations, and this is why we brought in Kincaid. And do you think it's time? And I mean, I have my answers, but do you think it's time that the transition, this is a proper transition?
Give him the keys.
That's it. The keys belong to Kincaid. It's the Kincaid show going forward. The man had 8 receptions off of 8 targets last week for over 70 yards. Yeah. You can't go wrong.
Correct. Dawson's like a different type of tight end though. So I think it depends on what they're trying to do. Obviously, I don't want to get too deep about the team right now because we're kind of talking injuries, but it seems like philosophically there's like a little tug and war right now. Like I feel like Diggs, Allen, Gabe Davis probably want to air that sucker out, whereas, McDermott, maybe, possibly, probably, talking to Dorsey, saying, I want to slow this down, make sure we got the run game going, keep things tight and easy.
Yep.
I don't know. So Dawson did well 2 years ago. So I don't understand why he's not getting these deep crossing routes, leak out stuff where they kind of, he's the guy they're throwing it to. They're like scripting it up for him.
Yes, they
I don't know what's up with him. But obviously his wrist is definitely bothering him. I mean, if he's in a splint between games, I mean, it's not good. Early in the game, I did notice that it was like on the first, obviously not the first play, but that second series, he went back to the huddle. He was like shaking out his wrist. So definitely wasn't right. I don't think it's an excuse why he dropped that ball that he did. He got popped when he didn't.
He got rocked, man. He got hit hard.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, I think it's more about blocking for him with the wrist than just catching the ball. And obviously he wasn't able to get it done. So we'll see what happens with his injury. But yeah, it's a little bit unknown, and it's kind of weird that he was able to play and now they're deciding to get it fixed. That's why I think it's just a cleanup. I don't think he would have a broken bone and they're just like, hey, just play through.
Play 2 weeks in it. Yeah, that's exactly right. I think
it wouldn't really make sense. Yeah.
All right, let's get into something a little more controversial. And that's our guy, Josh Allen. And I say controversial because the offense hasn't been the same. The offense is not looking good. The offense is out of sync, disjointed, in turmoil, whatever you want, whatever terminology you want to use and whatever word you want to use for this offense. But we have to look at Josh and his shoulder. And we know that he's got that potential AC injury that he's been dealing with and trying to cope with it as he plays in these NFL games, is this violent and physical game. But last week, he dove for not even for a first down. I don't think it was a first down, but he dove ahead to get extra yardage. And as he's rolling and just settling, you can see him grab for the shoulder once again. Yeah. So how much pain? I didn't have the clip. I wanted to show the clip. So
it's all good. Because I got a good slow-mo of that one.
Let me across it. If I can try to add it, I will. But talk to me about that injury. And
it's all good.
Is it really? Is it a problem?
It's going to be a problem for a couple weeks, at minimum. The Bengals game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're on a short week now, so I'm sure it's still sore. I mean, he probably didn't feel right until Friday before the game last week. So basically, Rico, the whole thing is it's a little joint in the top of your shoulder. It hurts when you bring your arm up like this, okay? And it's a throwing motion.
Okay.
So when he fell down on his side in the Giants game, he sprained the joint. He kind of like, two bones sticking together, popped it up a little bit. It's obviously not too bad, right? But it's painful. I'm actually working through an AC joint sprain right now, just from lifting weights. But that's what happens when you get close to 40. So
we get there.
So here's the deal. So if he falls on his shoulder, it's going to irritate it. So early in the game, second series, he's scrambling up the middle. He gets tripped up. He didn't get like driven down. He just got tripped up, went for extra yardage. You could tell he's got a good knack of awareness to protect his body, though. And I wrote an article about that a couple years ago. It's almost like a trait of him. He knows how to, if a guy's taking out his leg, he knows how to kick his leg at the last second. He knows how to flip over these guys to avoid that hit to the knee that's going to, be catastrophic. He's got some nimbleness to him. So he's reaching the ball for some extra yardage, and then he like tucks and rolls, and he's trying to land on his back. You could tell exactly what he's doing. He's trying to not land on his shoulder.
Yes.
But he does clip the side of it. He slides on the turf, and then you see his hand like come up here like, that hurt. Now, that was in the first quarter. So obviously it hurts for a little bit. It calms down. I mean, these guys have like Novocaine shots they can give them if they want. Are you pulling it up?
I'm going to try to play the video for folks so they can see.
Yeah, it'd be nicer if you guys can see it. It'd make more sense.
Open that page up. I don't know if you guys can see it properly here. Let me just share my page.
It's looking pretty close.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what you guys want to see. I want to show you guys what Alex is referring to as Josh slides, right? You can see the slow-mo, and look at him grab that, right?
Just play it. Yeah, because,
Is it playing now? Can you see that?
It is. Yeah.
So it gives you an idea. So listen,
There it is.
there it is. So at the end of the day, see him roll over and then immediately grabs it, but doesn't get up right away. So, and a lot of people are going to say he's hurt. That's why this offense isn't playing the way it's supposed to. So we have to give him some grace and give this offense some grace. And we totally get it. We totally get it. And it's not like we don't know that he's injured. We know that he's got a banged up shoulder, but he's playing through it like any tough quarterback should be. Should we be giving him grace in this whole situation? And are we being too harsh on Allen and his offense, knowing full well that he's dealing with a shoulder injury? And at that, what is that? It's his right shoulder.
It's his throwing shoulder.
There you go.
100%. So you want to know what I think about it? I don't think it's a bad sprain. Okay, we're talking like a grade 1 here, but it's irritable. So when he takes a hit like this, that's a couple things here. When he takes a hit like this, it's going to hurt, but it's going to cool off in a little bit, and it's going to kind of feel back to where it was, unless he like really gets driven into the dirt with like a D lineman on top of him, and then he could sprain it further, and now we're really in trouble. Anthony Richardson, the quarterback from the Colts, has the same injury, but he has it on a grade 3. Okay. So his clavicle and his shoulder blade, they like disjointed. It's called a separated shoulder. Yep. So it's popped up so high, mechanically he's screwed. So they had to do a ligament reconstruction there to get it there. And now he's out for the year. Is Allen at risk for that happening if he gets pile driven into the turf? He is.
Of course he is.
So, but so a couple things about the injury, right? Do we have to give him a break? Kind of. So if you see some passes that are like a little off target, it might be a shoulder. It was a windy game too, though. So, I don't know which ones was wind, which ones was, the shoulder bothering him.
Yep.
But the team's going to have to play him differently. So don't expect them to be running this dude anytime soon with, designed runs, at least to the Bengals game. And I think that would still be pushing it. Maybe after the bye week. And then the third thing is, I don't think we can give him a total break here because obviously it's good enough to make quite a bit of throws. Yep. His mental is what's screwing us right now. So that's the whole debate. Is it Dorsey's making things too complicated? And it's like, I keep telling you about this. It's like, is the offense like so weird that he's having trouble with progressions? And if that's the case, then the OC's got to make it easy for him and let him play. Or is it easy and Allen's just got his head up his ass? I don't know.
Well,
I can't tell.
I'll tell you what I do know. I mean, actually, I don't know, but this is my opinion. And my opinion is this, man. Allen does have his head stuck up his ass. And right now he needs help pulling it out and shaking it and give his head a shake and get back to what you know how to do. Now, other thing is, and what I'm understanding is, and I got to play this clip while everybody's here and we can hear, because there's sometimes you got to read between the lines. When someone's saying something to you, you got to be an active listener and listen to Ken Dorsey and Matt Perino. My guy Matt Perino asked him a question in regards to how much influence and how much of a thumb does McDermott have on the offensive game plan. And check this out. And you guys let me know what you think. And then my friend Alex and I can kind of dissect and talk.
And I'm curious, what's the dynamic of, I don't want to say your relationship, but in terms of game planning, how much is he involved and what's the kind of cadence throughout the week?
Yeah, I mean, definitely has some input and is definitely has a philosophical idea of what he wants, and that's something that continues to blend in with our offense. So he's obviously got a great mind for the game, and as a defensive coach in this league a long time, an understanding on how to attack defenses. So it's something that we continue to blend in with offense.
All right.
Yeah.
So I put in three key elements that I took from that. I'll let you start and what you took from that little clip of Ken Dorsey referring to obviously answering the question from Matt Perino and of the influence that Coach McDermott has on this offense.
Yeah. So obviously that was a nice way of saying McDermott's kind of telling him what he wants.
Interesting. Go on.
Yeah,
Tell me more. I'm
it is.
gonna jump into
Now,
it too.
all right, but a quick timeout on this.
All right.
Now we've gotten to the playoffs 3 years in a row,
Yes.
right? Now 2 of those losses came at Kansas City. It was fair weather games. The Bills think they're a powerhouse. They think they're built to maybe host in the playoffs more often.
Mm-hmm.
You saw a snow game. You saw a nasty weather game. And what did they try to do? Throw it around the yard. And what were you not going to be able to do? Throw it around the yard because it was slippery and the weather sucked. So it's actually not a terrible idea to have an offense that can dink and dunk and efficiently move down the field the way the Bengals did on us in the playoff game. I get it. And that's probably where this is coming from. But at the end of the day, like, is that our best ball? It's not. But is there a way that you can mesh, I don't know, early in the year, use what you got, and then really start to throttle down when the weather gets tight? But I get it. It's a philosophy thing. He probably wants this like hammered down early in the year, so it's efficient later in the year. That's my devil's advocate for McDermott on that. Okay, because if this team's like run and shoot, built for a dome, and we're hosting a playoff game in the snow, the defense has had trouble in the playoffs. They get run over, and then the offense can't play their best ball, and we get screwed like the Bengals game. So I think that's kind of where it came from. Also, it's I guess it's more efficient. I mean, you see some of the stats, like the stats look good. It's almost like comedy. It's like very Billsy how these past few games have gone. There's been some good plays here and there, and then it's like, oh my God, shot yourself in the foot in the worst opportune times. It's like a comedy of errors. Hopefully this kind of balances out and they just get hot and they go on a nice stretch here. But I'm concerned. But we'll see how it goes.
This is the point where people were asking, should you be concerned? Should you be concerned? And a lot of times we're like, nah, we're good, man. It's only week 4. Straight. Oh, it's only week 5, guys. It's all right, guys. It's only 6 games into the season. We're gonna get it together. Now we're going. We're past that now. It's time to get together. We're the week 8 now, right? So here's what I took from that little clip, right? And he's like my head coach, and any head coach should always have input in all game plans going forward, special teams, offense, defense. So it's not unheard of for a head coach to have some input in the offense and what I want this offense to kind of look like, right? That's number one. So to me, I got no problems with that. Then he says he's got some philosophical ways or things that he wants done in this offense. So this is where, not that I have an issue with it, but this is where Dorsey has to initiate and integrate his philosophies into his offense, but that's still your offense at the end of the day. So if his philosophy is to bang it out and run that football and establish a toughness, that's your job as an offensive coordinator to figure out how you're going to do it. So to me, I'm not saying he's putting blame on Dorsey, but on coach, but now you're now putting in question. People are like, see, I told you it's McDermott. McDermott's the one that's ruining this thing because this thing was on fire. You mean the last couple of years, and now he wants to put his thumb in this thing, and look what this offense has been some shit. Third thing, he wants to blend in, and a lot of the blending in is McDermott's personality. And McDermott is not no fiery coach. He ain't going to joke around with you like a lot of these other coaches that do. Like McDaniels is like a dry sense of humor type of guy. McDermott is that dude. He's just cut and dry. This is what it is, and that's what it is. So this is on Dorsey for Dorsey to figure this out. Now, on the flip side, McDermott has been, like you said, 3 years. We've been an awesome offense, but when it comes down to it, at the end of the season and in the playoffs, we're not as efficient because we become one-dimensional, and we get pissed off at that. Why can't we run the ball? Look at Mixon. Mixon ran for 164 yards. So McDermott's like, you know what? Now I'm going to put myself in this because right now I've let you guys do it. Now it's my turn to kind of tell you how I want you. Now it's your turn, your job as offensive coordinator to figure it out. And Dorsey right now has no sense of creativity. He ain't helping out, and Allen's not helping him by not executing. So this is a whole big old mess that they got to wake their asses up, and everybody's got to come to the table and figure out how we're going to do this shit. Because right now, you let three or more games like this happen, it's a wrap. We ain't going nowhere. We're going to talk about, hey, where we drafting 15th? We drafting 14th or what? Where we at? We're not trying to talk draft right now. There's a lot of teams talking draft right now, right? Just a few days ago, I was talking to a Patriots content creator, master at work. He was talking about Caleb Williams this, Caleb Williams that. Yo, we're not in draft talk right now. We're trying to make the damn playoffs, but we keep playing like this, it's going to happen. Now, that's a ball game for them to figure out. They're gonna have to hash it out and figure things out and you got to do it quick because you're facing Baker Mayfield, the same quarterback that was in the same draft class as you, and you cannot let Baker Mayfield outshine you in that damn game. You can't. You absolutely can't, especially because there was rumors that you would have went number 1 or number 2. So that's a whole nother ball game. Now let's get on to the defensive side of the ball because Ed Oliver, toe injury. Is it turf toe? What's going on with Ed?
Yeah, they didn't say, but I would assume it is turf toe.
Turf toe. I've had turf toe.
Yeah.
Have you ever had turf toe?
I have turf toe. And now I have a rigid toe.
You have a rigid toe?
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, you sprain it real bad and then it gets stiff and then now it doesn't bend back. So like I'll try to be doing lunges. I can't put the 1 foot behind me. I got to put my shin up on something. And
you can't do things the way you want to do things. So he had a week off. Is a week off enough for us to get him back? Yeah, it is. It is. The average return's like 10 to 14 days if it's mild, which I would assume it is because he finished the game with 87% of the snaps, unless he really hurt it on the second to last snap because he wasn't on the play for the last snap. I don't know. But turf toe sucks and it could get easily aggravated. Okay. And it's very touchy and it's going to hurt when he pushes off or he's like getting drive blocked and he's trying to fight back. So this is not an ideal injury. This is similar to, I put it in the category with like a calf injury where, they're very touchy, where, you feel good, but you can re-sprain it real easy. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not happy about that one. Phillips has a back injury. In the overtime, he was chasing down Stevenson on the 33-yard run. And he another diving play like he did against Mac Jones. And he absolutely, I don't know what a 30-pound guy is sitting here dying with your fat ass. What you doing? You ain't getting nowhere. He dove. He tweaked his back. Again, he's probably going to play, and he's probably going to be like a little ginger. And don't be surprised if he comes off the field and it hurts him again. I'd be shocked if he just showed out and just kicked ass. I think Ed does suit up though. I think that was part of the reason why he didn't play this past week. He was probably close. He was out there for stretching, looked fine, was wearing cleats. But I'm just more worried about re-injury with that. And that doesn't mean if he sits out another month, Rico, that it can't get retweaked. So I think they're just going to roll with it. You could tape it up. You could limit how much it gets kind of pulled back, but it's going to affect him. My man Ronald says that the offense has turf brain. Is there any remedy for turf brain? Yeah. What's the remedy? Thigh it up. Thigh it up. Listen, I got one more injury concern that I need to talk to you about, and that's Von Miller. Von Miller only played 6 snaps. 6 snaps. And it's quite puzzling because you're on a pitch count, we know. And if you're going to be on a pitch count, those 6 snaps, I would have probably loved it in the fourth quarter. And he definitely tweaked his knee. Talk to me. This is why you are the thigh dog. Yeah. Okay. So he goes 20 snaps game 1, 27 game 2. You're looking at 30 game 3. He was chasing down. I got the clip too, if you want to find it, but he's been in the corner. Now he's got an ACL on the right. And when you bend to that side, it's more difficult than when it's on your outside leg because all your weight's kind of shifting on it. He's got the history of the meniscus. He had the lateral meniscus when he tore this ACL. Right. So he's been in the corner, and then he kind of gets around the corner. I thought maybe that's when he would have twisted on it. But then he's diving for Mac Jones, and his leg, Tim Settle falls on the outside of his leg while his kind of toe gets planted. It looks like a pseudo mild MCL, possibly meniscus type injury. But he got up limping. He had to stay on because they ran the hurry up for 2 more plays, and then he didn't see the field after that. Well, I'm going to now that clip now. Talk about it. Yeah, see how the toe's stuck in the turf? Yes. I don't know if you could zoom in just a little bit, but the toe gets stuck there, and then he gets kind of bent inward with Tim Settle hitting him on the outside there. Dude, this is the challenge that I have. And that's the thing, man. This is the challenge that I have with these guys, man. Because they come back, and I know they want to come back and do well and show us what they got. But did he come back too soon? No. If this is what I think it is, like a little sprain of the knee / irritation of his meniscal area. It's bad luck he got hit like that. You guys feel okay?
Yeah, it's bad luck he took a hit like this.
Oof.
But
Yep.
it could happen to anyone. That doesn't mean that it's because of the ACL. But the fact that he has so much damage in the knee already, meniscus, ACL 2 times, his cartilage is wearing out, okay? So a little tweak like that on a 24-year-old, he shakes it off, he comes back in the second half. He's got like a 50-year-old knee right now, okay? I try to make an analogy to someone. Von's late in his career. He's 33. He's already had an ACL. That knee is like a car. It's got 125,000 miles on it, okay? That's quite a bit, right? But it's still serviceable. It's a nice car. It still runs pretty well. That ACL just added 75K to that engine. Now he's got 200,000 miles. So shit's going to break down, okay? So I'm worried about him. He's so optimistic, though, when he's in interviews. It's tough to get a read on this guy. It's like, oh, I'm going to have the best week I've had. Except he's been limited in practice for 2 weeks, and I'm not even totally sold that he's going to be playing this Sunday or Thursday. So we'll see.
I listen. I'd probably say the same thing. I don't think he's going to be playing. And by the way, for those that are Canadians and we don't go by miles on cars, we go by kilometers. And that's 320 kilometers, folks. That's a lot. That's a lot of kilometers on a knee right now. If we're going to use the analogy. I hate you guys.
I'm seeing some comments here. He's not packing his pockets. This guy was awesome last year. It was a good investment, but it came with a risk because he was 33. He unfortunately got probably one of the worst injuries, another ACL to the same knee. It sucks. It is what it is. He worked his ass off. He's coming back. He had an interview today, which I listened to specifically. Okay. And he's like, back when I was like 24, I tore my ACL. I came back in 10 months, and I'm thinking about it now like, holy shit, I didn't think anything of it, but that was pretty crazy because now I'm trying to get back and stuff keeps happening. Well, that's what getting old is. Come on. So he's obviously how should I put this? He's a 40-year-old in a 23-year-old's brain. Okay, he thinks he's invincible still. He doesn't realize that this stuff's going to happen. He's finding it out real time.
Well, you know what?
Unfortunate, but this does not mean that he's totally damaged goods. Rico, he's probably got another year or 2 left. He might be even better next year. Yep. But this doesn't mean he can't round into effective form late in the year. He could get that brace off kind of around like late December, January, starts bending the corner again. I see him playing. He's still got the hand work. He's still getting around the edge. He's just slow doing it.
Just slow.
And I would just like to see him rush on the right. When he's rushing on the left, it looks like he's in molasses. It's pretty ugly. He's just not there. I think they brought him back too early, and I think they did because they wanted to do him a favor so he could fucking play in London, which is absolutely ridiculous. So
he could have just went for the London and just to hang out. You didn't have to come back and play. Like
he had to make it about a bucket list thing, and I think with Groot out, they were just like, "All right, let's do it."
So what do you do with this car? What do you do with this car? You put up for sale?
No.
You put the car up for sale? I mean, listen, it's got mileage.
No, you're stuck with this. You're already paid for it.
Ride this into the ground or what?
You ride this into the ground. You absolutely do. Yeah, and you just got to hope like you put some better gas in it, and it's going to run better.
We need some premium gas. We're probably going to get some new tires on there because winter season's coming around, so we got to get your winter tires on. I know you mentioned too much, but y'all should put your winter tires on. Listen, we got some banged up Bills, man, and that's why I feel that this offense needs to help this defense.
Defense looks like shit.
Screaming, help me, offense. You guys are all the way healthy. We're banged up over here, and y'all the ones struggling. Nah, man, y'all gotta get it together, man. Y'all gotta get it together, and that's what it comes down to. Listen, before you get out of here, bro.
You think Alan proposed to Haley and she said no?
You want to get into that, huh? Yeah. You know what? My cousin sometimes when she'll tease me and she'll say, "You know what? You're a messy bitch." And right now you being a messy bitch by asking me about asking about no damn engagement. Well, I'll tell you
not right with him.
I'll tell you this much. My wife said the other day, she's like, "You know what? That's what you get for breaking up with your girl." We didn't have these issues when you were Brit.
That's right.
Brit had you right. So now you got yourself a new girl. He's just gotta adjust. He's gotta adjust to the new girl. He's gotta adjust to this funk that he's in. And once he gets out of this funk and we get it together, this offense has the potential to be fucking nasty. We're just not on the same page, man. We're not.
It's got it's got some good numbers here. If they stop shooting themselves in the foot, execute some more plays, it'll go. I just I hate we're not getting any explosive plays though. Like that's obvious. I think that's like the most alarming thing. The plays over 20 yards. We used to live on that crap. You know what I mean? Even if we're having a bad game, hit some big bangers, score a touchdown. I think we have 2 big plays in 3 weeks. It's wild.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I gotta get this. And I've said this before. I'm gonna say it again because it's just so damn clear. They know what Allen can do. We can let you go off, Allen. We can do that. You can go off the script because you seem to like to go off the script. But we've got to rein you in. You can't go off the script. We're trying to save you for your career. So when you're 32, 33, when you just can't go off the script the way you can, you'll now know how to stay in the pocket, not have to take off and go there. And right now he's like a pop bottle. And that pop bottle's it's all the way shaken. And he's just trying to take the top off so he can just go. But they're like, nah, bro, you got to sit and settle. And you got to look for your spaces. And the guy's so wild and ready to go wild, but he's not seeing what's in front of him. And there's open freaking receivers in front of him, and he's just straight up not even looking their way. And
I got a feeling, Rico, they're not letting him run, and he wants these big plays. They're not going to let him run right now. He knows that.
Yep.
So he's not taking these hot routes because he knows they're boring. He thinks if I could just pump fake this guy and get out of this free blitzer, I'm going to get my big play opened up. And I'm pretty sure that's what's going through his head right now because it's happened a bunch of times the last 2 weeks.
But defenses are not stupid, man. Like offensive coordinators these days, they're a new age offensive coordinator. They're not old school offensive coordinators, man. They're in the analytics. They're looking at what you do. Hey, if he don't like his first read, guess what? He's running out of the pocket, going to the right. Get on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Safeties roll over. He likes to throw back shoulder. Be ready for that. Like, you don't think that they know that? We as fans watch this shit and we know that, man. Come on.
He wants the old thing back. He got a taste of greatness, and now they've changed, and he's gotta play a different way now. Things will open up if he could just consistently do the right thing. Teams will have to sell out on shit, and stuff's gonna open up. Someone just gotta make it happen.
Got to make it happen, man. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Thigh Doc. Thigh Doc came through and dropped some knowledge on us, and it's actually really good to know about Von Miller. So when do you anticipate Von Miller potentially getting back to his 20, 25, 20, 30 snaps?
20, 25, 30?
Yeah.
Well, he was already at 27 the week before.
Exactly, but then he went down to when can we get him back up to 20 again? 2025.
Could be this week, could be next week. It depends what really happened with his knee there. If it's just a simple tweak and it got sore, or they got spooked, like, hey, something happened, let's shut it down, and he felt great the next day. You never know with these things. Anything can happen, but just based on what I saw, it looked like he tweaked it. I don't know. I would say by the Bengals game, we should be looking at 35 snaps. That's what I would expect. So let's get it.
Let's get it. Well, I appreciate that.
Short week, so we'll see how this goes. I'm not going to thigh it up tonight.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Why not?
Because I'm having issues with the audio. I was fooling around with it before I got on. But.
Is there a way that I can help you out with something?
Well,
no, you know what? We'll save it for next week. I want you to be healthy because you're dealing with some turf toe probably, and we want you to be healthy. You'll be straight. You'll be all right. We'll do this.
Mix it up. See what happens.
We'll mix it up. All right, boss.
All right.
Listen, we appreciate you.
Always a pleasure, Rico.
Tune into my guy Thigh Doc. Everything's on Twitter. That's my guy, man. We love you, man.
Actually,
yo,
do you want to do it?
We don't thigh dance. We two-step. That's right. That's right. Good day, sir. Good day to you.
In the winter. I'll see you.
All right, man. Nice try. You try to give me the thigh dance. You think I'm gonna sit here and go? Nah, we don't do that, man. We just two-step, baby. We two-step. We stay in it, baby. We stay in that. And the Bills right now are not two-stepping. They're thigh dancing right now, and maybe too much thigh dancing. We need to get back to two-stepping. Now, folks. I had to get the injury chatter out the way, but the main reason we have in the show, and I'm going to be joined shortly by my man Carl Jones, and we're going to talk about it. But like, I got to get into this, man. I got to get into this because this offense is not looking the way it's supposed to be looking, and we don't have a damn excuse. Because I can sit there and be like, yo, but we don't have a franchise quarterback. That's why we're struggling. Wait, wrong. Wait a minute. We do. Yeah, but you know what? A franchise quarterback needs his weapons. He needs an elite receiver. Oh, wait a minute. We traded for one. We got that. Yeah, but you know what? A quarterback needs a freaking safety blanket because when the number one receiver is taken away, what is he going to go to? Oh, that's right. We got Kincaid. Yeah, but we got a banged up offensive line. Have you not? Oh, wait a minute. Nobody's been banged up on the offensive line. Yeah, but you know what we're missing? We're missing a run game. We don't have a running back. We don't have this. Oh, no, we do. James Cook. Remember the guys that you guys love and adore? James Cook's in the backfield. So what is the excuse? There isn't any. It means get your shit together offense. Period. Point blank. There's nothing to it. And right now, the Bucks just took an L. And they want that division in the South because the South is doable. They're number one in the South. They want to maintain being number one in the South, and they're not going to let the Bills come through and try to mess that up for them. So they're going to be all over, folks. They're going to be all over it. So this is one of those games that these boys need to come in and handle business. And I'm not talking about. I mean, we want to win for sure, but there's got to be a convincing win. Deco Hero says, yo, I don't want to hear about injuries. Every team has the injuries. Every team, I don't want to hear that excuse this year. Fam, injuries happen. You're right. But we don't have any on the offensive side of the ball. That's what I'm trying to say is there should be no damn excuses. We just aren't playing well. We suck right now on the offensive side. We're not getting it together. And if I'm Khalil Shakir and I'm Deontay Hardy and I'm Trent Sherfield, I'm pissed off because I'm like, dude, I'm wide open, man. I didn't run all these damn routes all offseason for me to sit here and get wide open and you just want to go to 14. At one point, 14 is going to be like, yo, I know you want to hit me, bro, but you got to get these underneath cats. You got to get these underneath cats, man. They're right there. Like I was watching some film and on Twitter and somebody broke it down. I don't know who it was that broke it down, but there's a free, if you're going to change things at the line, and I'm no X's and O's guy, but I know a little bit. And you know who your free open guy is, and the chances are he's coming. So if he's blitzing off the side, you got to there's a replacement underneath him. Hot route, hit the hot. That's one-on-one, man. You see a blitz coming, that means you got to get rid of the ball quick. So know where your hot routes are going to be. And if you have to make some adjustments and check at the line, Omaha, do whatever you got to do. LeBron James, make that shit happen, baby. But that shit ain't going to fly, man. That ain't going to fly. And we got to get it together because we cannot afford to lose another game. We just can't. And all I got to get is a thumbs up from my guy, and we ready to roll. As soon as he gives me thumbs up, give me a flex. You got a flex of you? Put those guns away, boy. You're going to hurt somebody, boy. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my man, Carl Jones. What's up, Carl?
How y'all doing? It's a little crowded today. I'm back at work. Got the sports director to go, OG Thad Brown behind me, and then my coworker over here, Caleb, as well. How y'all doing tonight?
We doing all right, brother. How'd the soccer game go, man?
It went well. You know, always looking to see the kids. It's playoff time, baby. So semifinals, you know, the kids, they trying to get some glory. So it was good to see them shine a little bit. Pittsburgh, Sutherland for those, and the Rock looking like they're going to come out with a win on that one.
I like it. Listen, as long as you're covering a dub, that's what we need to. So you know who needs a dub? The Buffalo Bills need a dub. So we need to talk about these damn Bills, man. And let's talk on the defensive side of the ball because you're a defensive guy. So this team is screaming for help right now. They're screaming for help. And it's not like we're terrible. We've still been able to be competitive. We've still been able to, control as much as we can the narrative that like, oh, we're beat up and they're gonna just whack. No, we've been still in it. But we need help from the offense side of the ball. Fam, what's going on with this offense? What's up with Josh Allen? What's up with this offense, man? We need to talk about you in the building. You see what's going on. You see the body language. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. Starting with the defensive side of the ball, like I told you a couple of weeks ago, that next man up stuff sounds really cool. Like it sounds great in the moment, but the stars get paid like stars for a reason, and they were obviously down another one in Ed Oliver this past weekend, and it really showed. Really showed. I mean, the Patriots kind of peppered the middle of the field with the tight ends, with some underneath stuff, and then obviously they just at times were really situational with how they ran the football, which the Bills just weren't able to get off the field, which I think is the issue that they've had on the defensive side of the ball. Not necessarily they've just been getting gashed to a certain extent. They just haven't been good situationally, which is kind of the name of the game in today's NFL. And then obviously it doesn't take a wise guy to know that they're struggling big time on the other side of the ball, which you're going to need to that unit's going to have to step up big time ASAP, because the defensive side of the ball, I don't think it's going to be that elite unit that we probably saw in the first 4 weeks of the year, just based off personnel. But that's where they're kind of laying right now, and it hasn't looked good the past 3 weeks.
I didn't get my professional offensive coordinator card in the mail. I'm still waiting for mine. But when it gets here, I'm gonna exercise that. And I gotta say, man, it starts with 17. I'm gonna go right to the offense. I'm not gonna mince any words. It starts with 17. He knows that, but he said something today in his press conference, and I'm gonna play the clip. And this is what I needed to hear from Josh, and maybe this is what turns things around. But we also know that he's a great talker, because he said, "I'm more focused than I've ever been." Bro, where the focus at? I was about to cuss there. Where the focus at? Let me play this clip for folks so they understand what I'm talking about here.
Every time we step on the field, we want to score, and maybe, it comes down to me. Maybe I've been not enough of that, on our team, of saying like, hey, like, we're going to get this done, and this is how we're going to do it. Instead of, let's play against the defense's strengths, but let's figure out what our strengths are and play to those, and make the defense play to our strengths.
And here's the thing, and my man Pierre's been telling me this all the time, and he's like, yo, like, why are we adjusting to other teams? They should be adjusting to us. You need to stop us. And I get it. You got a game plan. You got to know who's who and who's what. But, like, adjust to us. We're the ones that got all the dogs on the squad. Like, what are we doing? What is it? Is it Dorsey? Is it Josh?
It's never one thing. Like, never. Even when situations appear to be just like one guy's fault. I think that's the beautiful thing about the game of football. It's really the ultimate team sport in every aspect of it, right? I know the quarterback gets all the love when they're doing great. I mean, all those player of the weeks, they say Josh Allen on them, right? They don't say nobody else's name. However, it's not just him who's out there playing well. And then on the flip side of that, when he's not playing well, when he's not seeing hot routes, when he's not executing, maybe he's off target with some throws, it's not just his fault. It's everything that kind of like in a big ecosystem, right, to make things work. I mean, were there some there was a lot of clips going around today, obviously, with Josh Allen just missing a lot of hot routes, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's obviously not good. But then also you can say on another extent of that, though, that a lot of teams have kind of, on the defensive side of the ball, they get paid too. And they know that some of the maybe the easier outlets that off those hot routes. And I know as a defensive player, just because you have a hot route, sometimes we schemed up to knowing where you're going to go on the ball when we blitz, right?
For sure.
So that has something to do with it. Are there some schematic things that haven't been pretty? Duh. That it hasn't been at all. And I think right now they're stuck in this world of trying to create this identity, right? I mean, they've completely removed Josh Allen from the run game, which however you feel about that, they've done that. But that was such an integral part for who they've been over the past 6 years prior to this. It's going to take a little bit of time to kind of, get back to a flowing, humming offense. It hasn't been pretty. The O-line wasn't great either. Pass pro, the running backs, James Cook wasn't pretty either. It just was an all-around performance where it just led to scoring 3 points in the first half against a Patriots defense who was down many, many players.
Too many players, if you will. So is it time to use the word, the P word or the C word? Are you familiar with those words?
Panic, and what's the other one?
Concern, panic. Like, I need to press that button. Is it panic mode right now, or do we have to drop another game before we get to panic mode, or does the panic come in right now?
I think there's varying degrees of that. I would say, me personally, I think there's too much talent on the offensive side of the ball for it to stay this way. I think they'll figure something out. I think where the concern should lie is on the other side of the ball, because it's at the end of the day, it's about the Jimmies and Joes. And right now they just don't have the Jimmies or the Joes to play at the level that they were playing before. Right. I don't think that. So then they can be a good unit for sure. But I think that's where maybe some of that panic word that you're speaking of, I think that's where me personally, I think that's where I'm leaning towards.
Listen, folks, listen, by the way, folks, if you guys are tuned in right now, I got my man, Carl Jones, out. He's actually doing what he does best right now, and he's handling business out in the studio right now at News 8 in the Rock, and you are on the Rico Report. And here's the deal, man. This upcoming game is going to be a challenge. You got a team that they're fighting for something because they're number one. It's not like they're tanking, so they've got something to fight for. You got Baker Mayfield on the other side. That's got his second opportunity, third, if someone want to call it third, because he's with the Rams for a little bit. You can't drop this game to Baker Mayfield. You absolutely cannot for a multitude of reasons. At A, he was in the same draft class as you. B, you've had more success than he has in the league. And right now, you're about to go toe-to-toe on his third opportunity, and you're struggling right now. This is where you need to pick things up. You can't lose this one because we do. We fall to the Jets. We fall to the Jets. We fall to the Dolphins, and now we're in the hunt. My goodness. You've been around the players right now. You see, you're talking amongst your peers. Is it dire?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, to be quite frank, this isn't the first time they've gone through a little bit of a lull. You know, it's a long year too. It's October 24th, for goodness sakes. You know, and I know that like no one's happy. I mean, the players aren't. I mean, obviously Bills Mafia is not, but it's a long year. I mean, we're not even halfway through the year yet. We're even at the so. The word dire, like I think the people only in dire situations right now are like Panthers fans. You know, they ain't got a first round pick and they're struggling this year. Those are the fans who are dire right now.
Facts.
But is it pretty? Nah, not at all. But it isn't it to the point where I think people should, completely panic if you want to go there.
Well, the good, the bad, the ugly. You know the drill. And there were some good things. And I'll let you start with what you felt that, and if it's a multitude of things or multiple things, let me know. It doesn't have to be necessarily one thing, but what stood out to you that was really good in this past game?
Yeah, I was really impressed with what I saw with James Cook. I think he took another step and he showed things that he's didn't necessarily show. Like coming out of Georgia, there were some things where I liked about him, and then there were some things where I'm like, he's going to have to improve upon to be a back that will want to be an every down back. I thought his contact balance was much better this week as opposed to in the past. I thought in the past he was a guy who, if he got hit, he was going down. I thought that he showed this week that he was able to stay on his feet, for lack of a better term. So if we're gonna go with just the good, I was throughout that game, passing game, running the rock. Now, pass pro once again left a lot to be desired, which this is why Latavius Murray is getting a lot of snaps, especially in obvious pass situations, because protect Josh Allen at all costs, right?
Yep.
But in terms of when the ball is actually in his hands, James Cook was good for me.
I like that. And you know what? I'm gonna let me just double up. It's so easy for me to go this route, but right now the brightest spot on this offense is Stephon Diggs, man. And if we don't have Stephon Diggs, and I've said this to you, we've shared this before. We're taking this brother for granted, man. We are taking this brother for granted because if you pluck that brother off this team, or he says, I can see the writing on the wall, I don't like it, trade me, and I'm going to make it known. Trade me right now, Bills Mafia. I love y'all, but I got to go. I hope it doesn't come to that route, and I know that contractually he's going to be with us for a bit, but you can't be happy as a receiver. Yeah, you're getting your numbers, but right now we're falling. No, we can't be doing that. So to me, the Stephon Diggs is elite, and he's good, and he's making things happen. I mean, he's on the ground. He's getting back up. He's getting the end zone. You got to love it. He broke another tackle a couple weeks back in the end zone. Dude is doing what he's got to do. And we sitting here just wasting this brother's talent. So to me, that's my good, and I'm not going to mince my words. We're going to get right to it. The bad. You can pick something, someone, whatever you want. The floor is yours. What you got?
I would say the teeth of the defense. I think that wasn't good at all. I mean, whether you want to include that with the D tackles and then the backers right behind them. Yep. I thought there were too many times in both the run and the passing games where the Patriots exploited them. I mean, I know if you guys have probably seen the clip where a defensive tackle was pushed back very, very far. And it wasn't
Jordan Phillips. I can say it for you. Jordan Phillips, he got Hayuk. They brought him back. They pushed him 5 yards back at 330 pounds. Thank you.
And that can't happen against a Patriots unit that was on life support coming into this game, to put, to be frank in that regard. And then passing game, Mac Jones, play action right over the top, whether it was Gesicki or some of the other guys underneath. Just the teeth of the defense. Obviously, I mean, that's where the backups are, right? I mean, no Milano, no Ed Oliver, no Daquan Jones. Of course, that unit is depleted. But I mean, they say next man up, right? Well, the next man didn't show up in the way that they like on Sunday.
You're absolutely right. You're so diplomatic on how you drop these things. I love it. By the way, and as a former DB, and I played a little DB back in my day, and there was a saying that coach always used to say to us was, "Thou shall not let the receiver inside." That was always the saying. I mean, you probably had it in a different way, but we knew, don't let him inside, because you let him inside, you're done. It's over with. And that's exactly what happened on that last route. I'm thinking, okay, he's passing the ball, he's not throwing it. It's got to be inside. If you're going outside, it's a harder degree of a throw to throw outside. He's going inside. It's got to be a slant. And we got beat on that. I was like, ooh, that hurt. But anyway, I digress. So the bad for you, the teeth of the defense. I'll say the bad for me was Josh Allen. I'm just going to say it. He wasn't good. All right? He wasn't good. He wasn't ugly, but he wasn't good. Because you got to give it to him, because he has these elite moments where when push comes to shove, he'll go 5 for 5 down the field. I'm in the end zone. What's up? No time wasted. But for the 3 quarters, we weren't playing the greatest of football. And these misses, this is the biggest thing that's stick to me. These misses, and they're happening way too often, and especially the deep route to Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs runs a 4.5, man. And I'm not saying that's slow. You could roll. But Stephon Diggs is 29. You know what I'm saying? He's getting up there. So if that brother made his way and he's got 3 to 4 yards of separation, you've got to hit that brother. You can't miss it. Now, whether your shoulder is not there or not, but you overthrew him, you got to work on that touch. And I know it's tough, and I can sit there, but I've got to say what's truthful. And he was not good that game. He was not good. And he was bad. To me, that's where he stood out. So that's where I'm going to sit there, and he knows it. The whole team knows it. And I hope there's somebody in his ear that's saying something to him, because I have my theories, and we'll get into that, and maybe you can shed some light on that. But I've got my theories. We'll get into that in just a moment. But let's get to the ugly, man.
For me, it was just the execution of everything on the offensive side of the ball, including Tyler Bass as well.
Yep.
It just wasn't pretty. And as a former defensive player, obviously you need to execute and know the fine details of the play. But on the defensive side of the ball, you can get away with things just by playing hard, right? Like, if I just want to get a guy down to the ground, there's no pretty way to do it. Just get him down to the ground, right? Just fly around with your hair on fire and just make plays happen. That's one thing that you can do on the defensive side of the ball. You can't play like that on offense. You actually need to execute stuff and fine-tune details, whether it was a Dawson Knox drop on 4th down, as we alluded to earlier. Yep. Josh Allen not IDing not IDing blitz and getting the ball to his hot routes, whether it was offensive lineman not passing off stunts. Just regardless, just the execution of the game, what the OPI for Murray in the in the red zone, whether you agree with the call or not, just the fine details of the game, because I'm not going to say they're far off. There are so many plays where if they got it back, I think they would have executed and put the ball in the end zone or got a big gain for it. But unfortunately, like I just alluded to, offense is all about that word execution, right? And I know it's so cliche. People are tired of hearing McDermott talk about it, but it's so true. It really, really is. And the past 3 weeks, it was really, really evident on Sunday that they just aren't doing the combing out the fine details. They're not doing that right now.
It's true. And you nailed it. And to me, the ugly is the fact that we lost to the damn Patriots. That's just what it comes down to. There's a team that we as Bills fans, we despise, we hate, and Macaroni Jones, I have to now call him McCorkle Jones, because he's got to earn the respect. He earned the respect that game. The guy went 25 for 30. He was on the money. I mean, 5 incompletions. Are you kidding me? My goodness, Mac Jones came through and handled it. The fact that we lost to the damn Patriots and we lost to a divisional foe on top of that, ugly, can't stand it. I need your opinion on something, sir. There's been a clip that's going around of my friend, Mr. Ken Dorsey. And Ken Dorsey pretty much alluded to Coach McDermott having a bit of a influence in this offense. And I want your thoughts on how his influence might be good for this offense long term, or is the challenge or the problem Ken Dorsey? And that's the first fold of the question. Is the problem Ken Dorsey, or is too much influence from Coach McDermott? And what in the heck does complimentary football mean? Aren't you sick and tired of hearing, well, we're just going to play complimentary football. We're just not doing that right now. And no, knock it off. All right. So let's start with Let's start with, I know it's a loaded question, brother. I know, but let's start with this. Ken Dorsey and this influence of Sean McDermott and how it's influencing this defense, this offense.
For one, I think in every level of football, regardless if it's the NFL down to Pee Wee, you take on the identity of your head coach. So I really didn't think too much of when people were like, when Ken Dorsey said, like, oh, we have input from Sean, and I'm paraphrasing it to a certain extent, but you guys understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So I'm not too shocked that Sean McDermott has an influence or an input on what happens on that side of the ball, because teams always take on the identity of their head coach, regardless of what's his specialty, right? I know at Syracuse, Dino Babers was an offensive guy, yet he still had an influence on what we did on the other side of the ball. Like, we never really saw him in meetings, but we did know that he had an influence on what our defensive coordinator wanted to run and wanted to do, right? Mm-hmm. So, but it only comes up and becomes a story when the team's not, that other side of the ball is not executing. So I really didn't put too much into it. I think that was Ken Dorsey just peeling back the curtain a little bit on actually what goes down in terms of what goes on with the football operation. But it definitely raises a red flag, right, when that side of the ball is not playing well.
It certainly does, and a lot. And the part two of the question, complementary football. I mean, I think I've heard this so many times, and you probably heard it during your playing time. What does it mean to you, complementary football?
Yeah, you help out the other side of the ball, help them, all that good blase. It sounds real good, right? It sounds really good in the moment. But I do think in the aspect of what the Bills need to achieve going forward, they do need to play complementary football, just like I alluded to earlier with the defense not playing well. So what I mean by complementary, the offense needs to play well to help out the unit that's not. So that's what I think in the terms of just the Buffalo Bills complementary football. You can think of aspects of like a team with a bad offense, right? Well, defensively, we need to make sure that we get the ball back to that offense. The game's in our hands. Like the New York Jets, complementary football will be, pinning the team back, taking away the ball on the other side of the ball, making sure Zach Wilson doesn't need to score 21 points to come back and win a game, right? That's complementary football. I know cliches are so old and that and worn out or whatever. I'm tired of them too. But in the Bills case, that offense need to get things together, because defensively they got to work on some things, and it's going to take some time with those new guys in there, and they're going to struggle until they figure that thing out. And I think Sean McDermott, who is an excellent defensive coordinator, head coach in general, will figure things out and put some guys in the right places to make sure that they don't have what happened on Sunday again.
So October 31st, Halloween. Are you one that dresses up for Halloween? Do you get into spirit, all that?
As a kid, I was, but not gonna lie, the older I got, I just put on the little Jason mask and called it a day. I ain't really with the whole. Yeah, that's
there. You go. I'm with you, man. I grew up in a Christian home, and they were like, trick or treating. Get your ass in the house. There ain't no trick or treating over here. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it was growing up my career. So I bring Halloween up because the trade deadline is on Halloween. And is there whispers? Do you feel like there are some pieces out there that would actually come in and impact this team off the bat, or it's just you got to roll with what you got? There's nothing out there that you can bring in and it's going to change the landscape. But then when you look at Philadelphia, they bring in Julio Jones, then they bring in Byard, and that's a hell of a safety right there. And they had no money. They're the last place team in terms of cap space. The Bills today just restructured Dion Dawkins. So like, are we trying to make something happen? Or is it best to just say, you know what, this is just emergency money. If somebody goes down, we just need to know, we'll go to the bargain bin and look for some bargain bin stuff. What you think?
Yeah, I think that when I first thought of the Dion Dawkins thing, I'm not going to lie, I just thought it was just like emergency money, create some cap space just in case some things happen down the line. I mean, they are really banged up, right? Yep. But are there players out there available? Obviously, but it kind of takes two to tango or whatever.
Can I step in on that quick?
You know what?
I'm sorry to crash. No, real quick. We actually talked about the Dion Dawkins money today.
Yep.
Apparently, according to the NFLPA salary cap listing, the Bills had so little money they could not afford to add anyone to replace Dawson Knox on the roster, because when you put Dawson Knox in IR, somebody else has to go on the roster, and then that player costs X amount of dollars. When veteran minimum in the NFL is about $1 million, the Bills had less than $1 million, so they actually had to use the Dion money to just be functionally under the cap. Now, to Carl's point, could they use the rest of that to add somebody? Sure. But like, this is not the typical, they've converted money, therefore a move is coming. Yes, there is a move coming. It's just replacing Dawson Knox on the roster.
You know what? And the thing is, we're broke. We're broke. We got no money. And I can't see us trying to bring someone. We just have to deal with what we have on the roster. And I knew it was something about emergency money because we just and Bean doesn't do these type of things, man. So I get it. I totally get it. Thank you for that clarification. And listen, we got to figure it out.
Thank you.
Man.
Yeah. My pleasure.
We got to figure it out, man. Yeah. I appreciate that, but that makes a lot of sense. I can't see us going to get D-Hop. Can't see it. I'm saying we should go get D-Hop, and this is what we're not massaging anything. What you're gonna add D-Hop to an offense that's inept? It would make no sense. People talk about that. That's number one. Number two, somebody was saying to go and get somebody on the defense side of the ball. Even I would say maybe we should go get Patrick Surtain. We ain't got no money.
I'm gonna nip that in the bud right there. Patrick Surtain is no, it wouldn't happen. The Broncos. I mean, I don't know why they would give up, in my opinion, the best corner in the league. It would take a Jalen Ramsey trade, probably a little bit more to get rid of him. So it just sounds good, but unfortunately, Madden is not real life.
All right. Well, listen. I know you're doing your thing, but we got to get to it because the milk carton alert. You already know what it is, man. Milk carton alert. Somebody's on the milk carton. You got to explain. Listen, and this is one of those things where you got to say who, or you got to tell me what is missing. And we know the what is missing. This offense has been missing. We could always just say offense is on the milk carton. We get that part. Let's get more specific here. Who needs to show up?
Who needs to show up? I'm gonna cop out because you was trying to you see. I like what you did there. I really like what you did there. I'm gonna give you something in between though. The explosiveness in the offense is just that's the milk carton. Like whoever you want to put on there in terms of that can replicate that, sure. But it's just not there. I don't know if I've ever seen would ever believe an offense led by Josh Allen would not be explosive or exciting, but it's become that over the past 3 weeks. And there are a multitude of reasons why that's the case. Defensive coordinators get paid too. Defensive players get paid too. However, that doesn't excuse you from the fact that you haven't been able to generate big plays. They've missed on some plays. Obviously, the deep throw to Stephon Diggs. They haven't been in their eyes, advantageous situations to take those shots. I disagree with that. However, that's the part of the offense that's gone because, they're having these 10, 11 play drives. However, I don't know how conducive that is to long-term success, especially if you want to have an elite offense, which they should on paper to a certain extent. So, yeah, the big plays, shot plays, regardless if it's the pass game, running game, that has to return if they want to go where they want to go.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that you put that because for me, the milk carton, and I like that you went speed because we are lacking speed, but the milk carton alert is going to go to Ken Dorsey. And I need the Ken Dorsey that coach as if you're about to get fired at the end of the season. I'm not trying to be cute about this. I'm actually being for real. Coach like you're about to get fired at the end of the season. Your job is on the line because I'm going to tell you right now, if they put McDermott up against the wall, he's going to have to make a decision. And the place he's going to go to is the offensive coordinator. And if we are continuing to underperform on the offense, it has to be on Ken Dorsey. And I'm not saying Ken Dorsey's missing. I need the Ken Dorsey fire to come out. They always talk about Ken Dorsey's a fiery guy and he cusses like a sailor and he's this and that and great. But I need that fieriness to come out on the field. No screen plays to the running back. I just cannot understand that. You have James Cook, one of the more elusive, quick-footed RBs in this game on your team, and yet you cannot function a way to find him in open space. You got Deontay Hardy, that's a mini running back that will. He had an amazing catch on the sideline. He made two brothers miss with no effort. You mean to tell me you don't want to get the ball in his hands? You have Khalil Shakir that the Cowboys would have loved to sneak and grab. Or I think it was another team, I can't remember. But you have these weapons, a bevy of weapons on this team, but yet we can't figure something out. Ken Dorsey, find that creativeness, find that fieriness, because if you don't, brother, you're going to be looking for a job somewhere else. And now Josh Allen, which has been privy and has been privileged to have the same offense his whole damn career, we're about to flip the script and find out what's going on. So very interesting. I know I just went on a bit of a thing there, but that's what's missing for me. Milk carton alert is Ken Dorsey and his inability to get this offense going. So you've got to chew your quarterback out. You got to chew him out. Here's a question for you, dog. There was a handshake between Coach McDermott and Brian Daboll. I'm sure you saw it. Is there much to look into that? Because that seemed very odd. But then someone tells me, oh, they had dinner the night before. That's very odd. For someone that had dinner the night before and that quick handshake and you out of here, that seems a little odd to me.
Yeah, it's funny because Thad was the one who shot that handshake at the end of that game. At first, I'm not gonna lie, it looked kind of funny, but I'm not really the biggest on quick interact. The interaction was less than 2 seconds. Like I don't know, like these they got each other number. I don't know. I'm not gonna really speculate on their beef or anything like that. They're not in the same building anymore. That's all I got for you. One team is in Jersey, the other team is in Western New York. That's all I really got in that department.
I'll keep it at that. But tell Thad, thank you for taking that shot because that meant a lot. That to me, if I'm listen, if I'm boys with you, we dapping it up, we lock it in, we bring it in tight. You feel me? And we move. But that was like they didn't even look at each other, they just kind of split. I don't know about that. But anyway, I don't want to keep you too long, brother, because you've been great. And this upcoming game is crucial. And last but not least, it's the all eyes. Who will you have your eyes on? Who should Bills fans have their eyes on this upcoming game? And what should we be paying attention to?
Tupac. Shout out to my boy Tupac. Let a little graphic over there. All eyes. In a game against, you know what? I think this is it's very niche, but it's something that once I've looked at the film and I can't lose track of it. Anybody who watches Todd Bowles, whether it was time with the Jets and obviously his time down there with Tampa, my man hasn't found a blitz he don't like. He has not. He will blitz his safety from 30 yards deep. He will send 9 people if he will put 14 people on the field to blitz them all if he could, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very intrigued on how the Bills answer this on a short week, right? I mean, that's where the tension kind of lies a little bit. Now, to be fair, they did play a blitz-heavy team in the Dolphins and shredded them to pieces.
Yep.
Past 3 weeks haven't been so. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering on a short week, not a lot of attention to detail. You don't have nearly as many days to prepare. All my eyes are on Josh Allen hitting hot routes, offensive line, make sure they're picking up the right guys off the edge from the second level. Because if they don't, this is a Tampa Bay defense that will create turnovers. And for whatever you think about Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans is still on the other side, and so is Chris Godwin. They have guys who can make plays. So all my eyes are on when they're bringing heat, can the Bills protect it?
Can the Bills protect it? Ladies and gentlemen, my man Carl Jones came through and handled business like he always does. And I tried to trap you in a couple questions, but you squirmed your way out. Good for you, bro. Good for you. But we appreciate you, man. And honestly, we love doing this. And obviously, I'm going to hit you up every Tuesday if you're down to chop it up with us. It's always a pleasure because this team has got us on pins and needles. We don't know what kind of Bills team we're going to get. So this is why we need the input of someone that's there, that's seeing it. And one last thing for me, the locker room vibe. Is it still high? Because I see guys dancing it up in practice, like they 7-0, but we 4-3, brothers. I don't know what we dancing about, but like, is the vibe still high out there?
Yeah. From all accounts, that was there today. I was watching the video, looking at the stories. Vibe still good. The guys are playing. I mean, that's how I would want it, right? Leave that the 24-hour rule, right? If anybody who's ever played sports, you sit on it for 24 hours, and after that, you flush it, whether it was a good win or a bad loss. You flush it, move on to the next week. And fortunately for them, the next game is in 48 hours.
It is in 48 hours. Well, listen, I appreciate you, man. My man, News 8, Carl Jones coming through. I appreciate the love, man. It's the studio just kick, and you're in there. Love it, man. So we'll catch you on the flip side. I appreciate you. Tell Thad I appreciate that nugget as well, man. And we'll keep it together, man. My
appreciate
guy, News 8, Carl Jones. I see you, man. And folks, there it is, man. Very interesting to obviously chat with my guy, Carl Jones. He comes through. And if you guys actually appreciate, being able to connect with members of the media and you like them coming on to show, get a different perspective instead of, somebody like myself that's, just sharing opinion and sharing my views, smash that like. Not just for me. Don't smash it for me. Smash it for my guy, Carl Jones, because he came through and he doesn't mince away. He kind of answers it the way you need to. And you need someone that's played the collegiate game. He played at Syracuse. You know what I'm saying? He knows, man. He was close, you know what I'm saying, to making it. And, certain things happen. So if you guys appreciate those kind of collabs, smash that like while you guys are here. If you guys on Twitter, salute to y'all. Retweet, re-X, whatever you guys want to do to that. And from our Facebook folks, salute. What's happening? So, Let me just share my thoughts all together on these Bills, right? Let me share my thoughts on these Bills. All right. Number one, we're 4-3. Is the season over? No, but it could quickly be over in a matter of 2 games. We've got Tampa next. Then we got the Bengals right after that. Those are 2 crucial games. The Tampa Bay Bucks right now are leading their division. They'd like to stay that way. I can't see them trying to sabotage that because it just doesn't make any sense. And if you go to the Bills right now, I know people are wondering, oh, what about the Bills and the Bills? Are they going to be? Listen, man, Miami right now is 5-2. The Bills are 4-3. The New York Jets are 3-3. Chances are the Jets will beat the Giants. They'll go 4-3. The Dolphins will most likely beat the Patriots. If they don't, even better, right? That muddies the waters in the AFC East and makes things better for us, right? But Miami should win that game. They go to 6-2. So that puts us behind the 8 ball, right? Then you got Baltimore that's on fire. You got Pittsburgh that's 4-2. You got Cleveland Browns that didn't look good last week. But they're 4-2 right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat us. They're 5-2. And then you got Kansas City that's 6-1. That's 7 teams right now. We're one of 7 right now in the playoff picture. But keep in mind, you got Cincinnati that's 3-3 right now. And they're about to face the 49ers. So that'll be a good test for them. Then you've got Houston that's 3-3. Don't sleep on Houston Texans. You got Indy that's 3-4. They're starting to kind of get their act together a little bit, although they lost that game, which should have been lost, but it is what it is. And then you got the Jets. Fam, like, it could be over with in 2 games if we don't get our act together, because then you know how hard it is to win in this league. Then you got the Broncos. Then you got the Jets, which would be interesting. And then the Eagles right after that. Fam, we cannot afford to lose any more games. I mean, if we could win every last game going forward, that'd be amazing. It's not going to happen. I had us finishing the league year at 12-5. I still think it's possible. We're at 4 wins right now. We got a few more wins to go, but it's still possible. Now that's that. That's for our playoff hopes and chances. Offensively, I mean, fuck. Like, Josh Allen, I like Josh. I really do like Josh. And Josh right now is dealing with a lot. Let me get my banner for my guy, Josh. All right? Josh is dealing with a lot right now. All right? He's not used to this at this point. I mean, the last 3 years, he's been, that guy. He's been that dude. Josh Allen can't do wrong. Does Josh Allen have his erratic moments? Yes. But usually he makes up for these erratic moments. Now, to pair along Josh Allen, we've had a very good defense, a top 5, top 10 defense the last 3 to 4 years. Consecutively, we've been very good on defense. So that helps with the offense. But right now, this offense needs to help this defense. And it starts with 17. And it's not like this, we're just outmatched and we're these teams are way better than us. It's us shooting ourselves in the foot with the dumb penalties, with Josh Allen missing easy reads. What is going on? He needs to figure it out. And I was talking to one of my homies today. I was shout out to my man Cody Benz. And Cody Benz was like, you know what? Josh Allen needs that one person in his ear that's not going to just be a yes man and just say, everything Josh is doing is amazing. Keep it up, buddy. You're doing all right. You're an amazing guy. It's going to turn things. Things are going to turn around. Nah, you need a guy that's in your ear. I think every friend needs that. For me, my brother's that guy. If I'm, you know what I'm saying, so it ain't shit popping for me or something's not right, he'll tell you, yo, man, that's some bullshit. That you playing like crap. Yo, if you did, you need that one. Now, whether it's a player on the team or whether it's a former player, you know what I'm saying, they need to be like, yo, go back to the way you used to do shit, bro. Just play fun, play light, play good. You know what I mean? Do what you do. Try to stay within the confines of the offense, but you can't let it take away from you, because like when Allen does what he does, when he rips off a run for like 15 yards and gets a first down, it pumps him up. It gets him going. So now on the defensive side of the ball, you don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to run? Is he going to pass? Like, shit, I got to be on my P's and Q's. But like, we've eliminated that part of his game, which now limits this offense. So now it's either James Cook is running the ball. We don't got no respect for James Cook. Or you're going to try to hit Stephon Diggs. And only now Dalton Kincaid got totally involved in the game last week. Was that an anomaly, or is that something that we're going to start to go forward with and do it? We'd love to see it. But here's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And it's boring for me to say this, but it's execution, bro. You got to execute. This shit's right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? If you have to go to Ken Dorsey and be like, yo, let's open it up a little bit. Let's start to do. I mean, and I'm sure these guys are doing that. But right now, it looks like they've figured y'all out. That's what it looks like. And we don't have the answers. That's what it looks like. And I know that this offense is too damn good for us to even be entertaining that thought. It's crazy to me. So if this is one of those games where you got to reset, totally reset, and say, all right, let's go back to the basics. Let's do what we got to do and get this thing going, then so be it. Now, do things change with Dawson Knox being hurt and put on the IR? Quentin Moore's potentially coming back, but he's still nursing an injury. Do we go back to 11 personnel? Majority 11 personnel, where we've had a lot of our success. Can we use Dalton Kincaid in a different manner? Does the run game change now? Right? Do we this whole new shift in personnel, does that change the way we go forward? Do we scrap this 12 personnel? So many questions, right? But at the end of the day, this whole starting flat and not being able to, you know what I mean, put something together, there's got to be a sense of urgency coming from everyone. But it starts with this guy right here. There. This guy right here starts with him. And I'll tell you right now, man, I love this freaking guy. I freaking love Josh Allen. I think he's the bomb. I think he's that dude. I know he's got a bummed out shoulder, but guess what? You in the game and they need you. Because if you don't, it's a wrap. Y'all got to come together. We got to come together. And it starts in Tampa. Like, scrap the freaking first 7 games, bro. It starts in Tampa. Let's start afresh. And then let's build from there. Because right now, it ain't working. This offense right now is broken. It's broken. We're just not in sync. We're not in sync. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. And it needs to change. It needs to change. The defense is going to do what they do. They're going to compete every day because guess what? Sean McDermott's in that bitch. But there comes a time where you're like, all right, man, I got to be that guy. I got to be the elite quarterback and take over. Sometimes you got to take what the fuck the defense gives you right in front of you. And when that deep shot comes, you got to hit on that. You got to, because it changes the momentum of everything. It deflates the defense. It pumps up the offense. And now you've got a sense of power. You've got a sense of accomplishment. Now you're like, all right, I hit that deep shot. Now I'm going to hit intermediate. Now I'm going to hit that screen. And now you're just dinking and dunking all over. And then all of a sudden you're at 400 yards. But right now we are not there. We got no identity. We don't know if we're coming. We don't know if we're going. We don't know if we're like a power team. We don't know if we're a finesse team. Like, we have no idea what the hell we are. We got to figure ourselves out. It's that plain and simple. Now, this upcoming game, we're going to have a preview game, obviously, Thursday night. My man Z-Bot probably is going to be going to the game. I think it's a home game. Yeah, it's a home game. So he's probably going to be going to that game. But if not, it's going to be myself, maybe Rev, maybe Z-Bot. We're going to talk about it. But for the most part, fam, this is it, man. We need to get it together, man, because we can't use the excuse of the night is still young. The season's still young. We still got a lot of football left, although we do. But it could quickly be over with a one or two games because all the other teams are ahead of us right now. We're going to be now wishing and hoping that something happens. We don't want to be in that position. We want to be able to control our destiny. Do we not? That's the case. So, that being said, go Bills. It's the only way to do it, man. It's the only way to do it. We got to get this. We got to get our act together. Now, before I get out of here, I saw some really good questions and comments in the chat. So if you do have some questions and comments, let them fly. I got you. My man Walter comes in and says, unpopular opinion, but I don't think Allen overall is vastly different from previous years. It's just the expectations are higher and we're living in the moment. Not only are we living in the moment and the expectations are higher, it's just how we've exited playoffs, the end results are probably piling up, and you're trying to do things differently so you don't fall into the same trap you've fallen into before. And as a head coach, and this is why I don't fault McDermott too much, and I know a lot of people are calling for McDermott's head. I'm not sure we're there personally, but you never know. But McDermott is looking at this like, if we keep doing the same crap we've been doing, it's just a bunch of insane brothers on this team doing the same thing and expecting different results. We can't do that. So we need to change things up. And that's where McDermott needs to lean in and trust that his OC can emulate what he's trying to, you know what I'm saying, take in and what McDermott is trying to tell him. And then now you fix it the way that you can do it, still incorporating what your coach wants. But like, fam, like I saw a stat. It was like on every second down, I think it was Nate Geary put it out there. Every second down, it was the same run out of the same formation. It was James Cook. It was like 3rd and 2 or second down and 4, and it was a run every single time to James Cook. My goodness. As a defense, you're looking at down and distance. You're like, it's a run play. Gather up, everyone. Right? So there's no sense of like creativity. There's no sense of like, gotcha, bitch. Like there is none of that. So we got to get it together. We really, truly do have to get it together. But at the end of the day, offense is the one that's lacking. Offense is the one that needs to get their act together. And in the words, and you guys have heard me, in the words of Kevin Hart, you brothers need to help me. Because right now, we ain't got no help. We need help. And it needs to start with 17. 17 is where it begins. And I tell you right now, once 17 starts rolling, so does 14. And once 17 and 14 start rolling, boy, everything else is going to open up. We've got some good weapons on the squad, man. Let's not squander them. Let's use them, and let's make things work. Let's make things happen. Will Gann says, yo, Allen is learning a new offense. No, he's not. I know it's only 12 personnel, but the coaches are telling him how to play safe and stay in the pocket. So you add it all together, and this is all new to Allen. No, it's not. It's not all new to Allen. It's just the formations. It's just formation. Instead of spread, right? Everybody's all out. You're tucked in now. You might be running the same route, but you're just coming from a different look. So it might look like we're running. So now everybody squeezes in, right? We have a tight end that moves smooth like a receiver. So take full advantage of these things. Find the matchups, right? And Will, again, I totally understand what you're saying because it's a new formation, but the concepts are all the same. Nothing changes. You got the same head coach. You got the same offensive coordinator that was your quarterback coach. Everything's familiar to you. Come on now. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I'm gonna say it once and I'm gonna say it again. My man Dorsey has to coach as if he's about to get fired. You gotta coach. You can't coach like, oh, I got the job. I'm gonna be here next year. Nah, bro. You gotta coach like your job is on the line. Because if the offense continues to sputter and there is no change, and your quarterback is not gravitating to what you're trying to tell him, or he's not listening, or it's just not working out, fam, you're gone. McDermott's going to have no choice but to move on from you, Dorsey. So, coach like you're about to get fired, bro. Coach like your job's on the line. Coach like they closed you in the room and they slid a chair and they put hot coals underneath it. And this is sitting that shit. Because you're hot, you got to be on the hot seat. You're gonna be on the hot seat if this nonsense continues. And the worst part about this is Josh Allen's the one that handpicked you. He handpicked you because he trusted that things will remain the same, and we're about to get it. And for the most part, it was like that last year. Things have changed now, and things should change. But one thing that shouldn't change is the ability for us to move the ball when we have everybody on the offensive side of the ball. There's just nothing should change. Like, come on. So, Mr. Ken Dorsey, coach like your job is on the line. So if you have to dig extra deep in that bag and find something that's going to work and allow these teams to adjust to what you guys do well instead of, okay, so who's on they've got that corner. Okay, this corner usually does this, so this is the type of right. Nah, man. We're going to run our plays and you got to stop us. Simple as that. That being said, my time is up. If you guys have questions, concerns, drop those questions and concerns right now in the chat because your boys got to go. But I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuned in. It was great. My man, the Thigh Doc, showed up, and he dropped some knowledge on us in terms of the injuries and potential of who's coming back. Ed Oliver should be back next week, hopefully. We will see how Von Miller, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's tweaked something with 6 snaps compared to the 20 and 27 snaps the 2 previous games. Something's got to give. So hopefully we see him back. And if we don't, so be it. Hopefully Josh Allen is banged up, but he can still play and really deliver, because this game is huge. This is a massive game this Thursday night. Let's make it work. So that being said, you guys have yourself a fantastic evening. I gotta get out of here. And we'll catch you guys on the flip. It's the Rico Report. It's the Buffalo Fanatics. And we'll catch you guys on the flip. And until next time, it's your boy Rico. It's the Buffalo Fanatics. Y'all have yourself a great night. And we'll see you Thursday night. Thursday Night Football. Ooh-wee. It's going to be fun. Peace.
Thank you.